We've worked with people from all over the country living completely different lives. This is Melinda. She had 3 kids, and she loved spending time with her family. And this is Joseph. He worked on the railroads, and he taught his son how to work on their cars at home. These are more than just names, more than just memories. These are faces of real people living real lives in every corner of the country. And they all share a common bond, the commitment to protect their families even beyond their time. You know, at Luminary Life, we understand life is short, so we have an obligation to be able to take care of our clients. So our mission statement is, life is short, be great, do good, and take care of others. And this is what we live by. And this is what we're obsessed with, is being able to protect our clients so that their loved ones don't have the burden of final expenses that were unexpected and unplanned.
Our goal is to partner with families to ensure that when their loved ones are no longer physically here, finances are never a mental burden. With adequate coverage, they're more easily able to process a challenging time with peace of mind and knowing final wishes and expenses are in order in advance. My Luminary Life story started several years ago when I made the decision to get into the life insurance industry. Our world was in the middle of a pandemic, and I knew how vital life insurance agents were, so I joined the Luminary Life team and took that leap.
You know, it all starts with the individuals that we hire. We hire individuals that have personal stories that understand the gravity of the situation of what could occur if somebody passes and they don't have any sort of insurance to be able to protect their loved ones. So everybody that's here has a true invested interest in caring for other folks because they've experienced this themselves.
I would say my number one reason is that I love advocating not only for families, but specifically for my clients. I've met amazing clients. I just had a client that ended the call with, "I love you." So that makes my day. It's a blessing. I have seen families. I actually had a very close family friend that passed away a few years ago, very young, and unfortunately was not covered. I've seen the devastation that it leaves families in. So I want to make sure that, you know, the families that I sit with or the individuals that I speak to, that they're covered. I would say from personal experience, witnessing, it's a nightmare. It overcomplicates a situation. You've already lost a loved one, and then you're putting your family in the burden of coming up with the finances to lay you to rest. As I mentioned, I had a family friend that passed away. It took a month for her family to come up with the money in order to bury her. Everybody wants their loved ones to be buried with dignity. So I want to make sure that your family is covered in order to do that. My priority is, you know, I think to myself, what if I was one day too late in talking to a client and on the worst day of their life, they find out and they don't have any coverage to protect their family? That's what motivates me.
At my core, I have a heart of service, and I want to make sure that, you know, everybody who I speak with is getting taken care of the best way. I actually have a personal experience with a family friend who lost her husband. Now, her name was Debbie, and she was more than just a family friend. She was very close to the neighborhood, the community. She watched my daughters when they were growing up, and so she was close to family to me. And I remember when her husband passed away, just the turmoil, it turned her whole life around. I got to see firsthand the sadness, the grief, the anger, just the overall frustration, because her husband had a life insurance policy, and yet here she was having trouble receiving the payout. And that's where I learned right away. I was like, not all insurance companies are created equal. And so when I'm speaking to somebody on the other end of the line, I'm thinking about Miss Debbie. I'm thinking about her kids. I'm thinking about her family and how I don't want them to go through what Miss Debbie had to go through and her family had to go through in order to receive the insurance benefits. So when I'm talking to somebody on the other end of the line, that's what's going on in my head. I want to make sure that they're covered. I want to make sure that they have peace of mind. And that's really, at the end of the day, what a heart of service is all about.
So the reason that I got into this business, to be completely honest, is because of the lack of information. And where I come from, people just don't know about final expenses. They don't know about the cost of a burial. They don't know about the cost of a funeral. And they typically wait until it's too late And all too often will I be on Facebook or, one of these social media sites, and then you see people asking for GoFundMe donations, and it really hits home if it's somebody that you know. Too many Americans don't have life insurance today. And what happens is these families have to go and reach out to donation services, GoFundMe services. They have to do car washes, even sell plates of food. And I know that's not what that person would have wanted their family to have to do. And so typically when you don't buy life insurance, the rates continuously go up as you get older, and it gets harder to qualify for the coverage. And that's really why I love what I do here, is because we only work with companies who are gonna look at your individual health very uniquely, and we're able to dial in the best company for you.
When I think about why we care so much about helping our clients, I can't help but to think about the stories of families that don't have adequate coverage or any coverage at all. I have those stories in my family as well, but the story that's impacted my life the most is the story of my father-in-law, Leo, who passed away in 2020. Leo spent a life of taking care of others. He had life insurance and made sure his family was taken care of. So one of the reasons I care so much about helping our clients is because that's what Leo would want us to do.
Final expense life insurance isn't just about finances. It's about honoring legacies, preserving memories, and ensuring that loved ones are protected from the burden of unplanned expenses. Luminary Life was built because we understand the significance of this responsibility. We stand not just as providers, but as partners committed to the well-being of our clients, one policy at a time.